Let's face it, we're all online a lot these days, right? But not everyone out there uses the internet for the right reasons. This module is all about keeping you smart, safe, and one step ahead online. Together, we're going to cover important topics like exploring cyberbullying and its effects, the dangers associated with sexting and sextortion, and what it means to responsibly use AI and why that matters. Plus, we've got an expert here to break it all down. Meet Glenn Pounder. He's a Chief Safeguarding Officer at Scouting America, and he's here to share some tips on how to stay safe online. All right, so let's get started. Cyberbullying is when someone uses social media or digital platforms to target others with mean or hurtful behavior. This can look like a hate speech, threats, insults, shaming, or spreading rumors. The problem with cyberbullying? It's constant. It happens 24/7. But don't just take my word for it. We're fortunate enough to have Glenn here to share why cyberbullying is such a serious issue.
Bullying has always been around, but in the past, it typically stopped when the child was physically away from the bully. Now, because of online platforms, bullying can continue at all hours, day and night. This can leave victims feeling constant mental anguish, unable to break free. It's easy to dismiss this stuff because it doesn't seem real online. But these online harms have real-world outcomes. There are many documented cases of youth struggling with depression, eating disorders, missing school, and tragically, even self-harm or suicide. Scouts need to know and understand that bullying, hazing, and other prohibited behaviors are just as unacceptable online as they would be in the real world.
As Glenn said, just because it's not face-to-face doesn't mean it's not hurtful. Bullying is bullying, whether it's offline or online. And remember, once you post something online, it's there forever. A scout is kind, in person and online. Be the golden rule and treat others the way you would want to be treated, especially online. Together, we can create a safe and supportive digital environment. Sexting is when you send or receive nude images or videos digitally. It might feel private, but it comes with a serious risk. Let's hand it over to Glenn for the details.
A scout might send a nude photo to a boyfriend or girlfriend by text or through an app. And while it might seem private, things can take a turn if those images get shared outside the relationship. This is called non-consensual sharing of images. And when children are involved, it can even be a crime.
Like Glenn said, sometimes you might feel comfortable sharing a photo or video with someone you trust, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. But we need to think carefully about everything we're doing, online or offline. Once it's shared, you lose control of where that image could end up. After uploaded, even if immediately deleted, the image can be captured and will continue to exist online. We need to ask ourselves, could this picture end up in the wrong hands? Are you prepared for it to be seen by people you didn't expect? A good rule of thumb? Don't send anything you wouldn't want your grandmother to see. Now, if a photo has already been shared, don't panic, there is a way to get help. For information about removing explicit pictures or videos from the internet, visit takeitdown.ncmic.org. Have you ever had a stranger follow you on social media or send a flattering DM? Sometimes that's the start of one of the fastest growing crimes online, sextortion. Here's Glenn with the details about the serious threat.
Sextortion is a serious form of blackmail, where a young person is threatened with the release of images by a criminal who may have obtained or created images of a child. For those caught in this crime, it can feel like their world is falling apart. The fear of shame from family, peers, or even from fellow scouts can make them believe that having a private image out there is the worst possible outcome.
As Glenn mentioned, sextortion can have serious real-life impact. It's important to understand how real its effects can be and what to do if it happens to you. So take a few minutes to watch Brandon's story, which he has graciously shared with us to help us understand the consequences and how to respond to these online crimes.
Imagine someone that you feel like is out of your league starts showing you attention. Then they share images with you, intimate images. You feel like you are safe because this generation is raised on Snapchat to where they can wake up in the morning and send a snap to someone and the message disappear. They're not realizing that someone is actually recording that conversation to begin with and then is going to use those images. And as soon as they share the images, the conversation does not continue, they immediately start blackmailing.
9 months ago tomorrow, I lost my 17-year-old son to suicide. I'd never heard of sextortion prior to my son, Gavin. This crime is so horrific because it targets all of our shame.
So in my son's case, he jumped off of a video game with friends at midnight. By 1:40 a.m., he was pronounced dead. And it wasn't until the coroner's meeting that I was informed that he was actually being targeted through sextortion. So Gavin was, he was artsy, he was one of a kind, he was himself, he didn't change for anyone. I am 43, and to feel like I haven't made as much of an impact on people's lives as what he did in 17 years. I know that he makes me want to be a better person and to try and live more like Gavin did. If you have not physically met someone, do not become friends with them. I don't care how many friends that they have in common with you, because that's what these professionals use, is they try to become friends with your friends. And if you're accepting a friend request of someone you don't know, you're culpable because your friend that just got extorted thought that you knew them, so they accepted it. And now they're being targeted. Do not send a penny. Once you send them a single penny, or pretend that you are going to send them money, that makes them know that they have you on the hook. Once you send that money, they will not stop. You should be able to report them immediately on social media. You should be able to block them. Education and spreading the word is the majority of the battle, so these kids understand that you are forgiven, that there is help out there, that we can help you get through this. As a father, you feel failure. It's your job to protect your family. I don't feel like I can control Gavin's destiny. I feel like I lost that battle. So I'm using my hurt from that situation to try and stop this from happening. So I'm asking for the teams as a whole to realize they are being targeted. They've got to come together and just say, we're standing up for each other. I'm gonna stick up and I'm gonna report it because I realize these are criminals.
Recognizing this crime is the first step to stopping it. And if it does happen, remember that there is always a way out. It's not hard to fall into the trap of sextortion. It happens to adults too. That's why it's one of the fastest growing crimes online. What starts out as something that might seem fun can escalate into something dangerous. It's easy to feel close to online friends. They're just a message away, and they seem to understand, and they're always there to listen. But it's important to ask yourself, how much do you really know about them? Remember, a profile picture can be anything. That doesn't mean the person you're texting is who they say they are. People impersonate others online, so always be cautious about what you share with someone you've never met. If you or your friend has been caught up in this, try not to worry. Adults will help you, and law enforcement will help find and stop the criminals involved. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is everywhere these days, and it can do some amazing things. But while the technology is not inherently good or bad, when used improperly, it can be dangerous and have serious real-life effects. AI is advancing rapidly, and there's little or no regulation of who can access it or what it can be used for. Changing photos of someone, whether for fun or not, can make them feel bad. The easiest way to ensure you don't do the wrong thing with this modern technology is to stick to the Scout Oath and Scout Law. In this training, we're hoping to help you understand how to interact with technology in a way that keeps you safe. AI is not going anywhere and is only going to become more relevant in your life. That's why it's so important for you to understand how to interact with it safely. We've covered a lot of important ground in this module. If you ever need more information or help, check out websites like missingkids.org or speak to a trusted adult in scouting. They're here to support you. Throughout this module, we've learned that our online actions matter, both for ourselves and for others. Whether it's being cautious about whom we trust or thinking twice before sharing, making smart choices helps keep us safe. Remember, online actions have real-life consequences. You have the power to make a difference. If you see something wrong or receive inappropriate messages, don't hesitate to report it. If you need additional support, here are some helpful contacts. For the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, dial 988. For the Cyber Tip Line, dial 1-800-THE-LOST. The most important thing to remember is that there's always an adult in scouting ready to support you. You're not alone in navigating this online world, and we're here to help you every step of the way.